I went to my grandmother's funeral expecting to say goodbye. Instead, I discovered a family secret that led me to the love of my life. The day my grandmother died, I thought I was losing the last piece of my family. I had no idea I was about to find the missing piece. My grandmother, Eleanor, was 91 when she passed away. She had lived a long life, a beautiful life, but her death hit me harder than I expected. She practically raised me after my parents divorced. She was my safe place, my favorite person. And standing beside her grave that rainy afternoon, I felt completely alone. Then a stranger showed up. A handsome stranger, tall, dark-haired, probably around my age. And he looked just as emotional as the rest of us. At first, I assumed he was a distant family friend. But then I noticed something strange. He wasn't standing with anyone. And every few minutes, he'd look toward my family like he wanted to approach us, but never did. After the funeral ended, I watched him place a white rose on Grandma's grave. Then he quietly left. I couldn't stop thinking about him, mostly because nobody seemed to know who he was. 3 days later, I found out, and everything changed. It happened during the will reading. The lawyer was going through the usual paperwork when he suddenly paused. Then he opened a second envelope. Apparently, Grandma left behind a private letter, one she wanted read only after her death. The room became silent. The lawyer unfolded the pages and started reading. The first few paragraphs were normal, thanking everyone, sharing memories, expressing love. Then came the sentence that changed everything. Before I die, there is a truth I can no longer keep. The room froze. I looked around. Everyone seemed confused. Then Grandma's letter continued. 40 years ago, I helped separate 2 brothers. My stomach dropped. What did that mean? Then came the first twist. My grandfather had a brother, an identical twin, a brother nobody in the family had ever heard of. Apparently the twins had a terrible falling out as young men, a business dispute, a betrayal, something so serious they completely cut each other off. They never spoke again, never saw each other again, and eventually both families lost contact for 40 years. Then came the second twist. Grandma secretly regretted it. For decades, she believed she should have reunited them, but never found the courage. So before she died, she hired a private investigator and tracked down the other side of the family, including their grandchildren. That's when my heart nearly stopped, because suddenly I knew exactly who the stranger at the funeral was. The white rose, the sad expression, the familiar eyes. The stranger wasn't a stranger. He was family, or at least something close to it. Then the lawyer revealed one final surprise. Grandma had arranged a family reunion after her death, a final attempt to heal a 40-year-old wound, and she specifically requested one thing, that I attend. The reunion took place a month later. I almost didn't go. Everything felt awkward, strange, uncomfortable. Then I saw him again, the stranger from the funeral. His name was Lucas, and apparently he was just as reluctant to attend as I was. The moment we started talking, something felt easy, natural, like we'd known each other forever, which was ridiculous. We had literally just met. Over the next few hours, we learned everything about each other. Both of us loved books. Both of us hated small talk. Both of us had inherited Grandma's stubbornness. Well, technically only I inherited hers, but still, the connection was immediate. The kind of connection people spend years looking for. Then came the biggest twist. A few weeks later, I discovered Lucas had almost skipped the funeral. Apparently, he didn't even know why he felt compelled to attend. The investigator simply told him an elderly woman wanted him there. That's it. Had he changed his mind that morning, we never would have met. One small decision, one funeral, one white rose, and our lives would have gone in completely different directions. Over the next year, Lucas and I became inseparable. Friends first, then best friends, then something more, much more. The first time he told me he loved me, we were sitting on a park bench talking about Grandma. And honestly, it felt like she was still bringing us together. Then one evening, Lucas surprised me. He took me to the cemetery. The same cemetery where we first saw each other. The same place where this story began. Then he got down on one knee and proposed. I immediately burst into tears. Not graceful tears, ugly tears. The kind that ruin makeup. The kind that make people laugh. Luckily, Lucas laughed too. And of course I said yes. Last year we got married. And during the reception, we placed a framed photograph of Grandma beside the dance floor. Because without her final secret, without her final act of courage, without her determination to heal old wounds, none of this would have happened. Sometimes family secrets destroy lives, but sometimes they do the opposite. Sometimes they bring people together. And sometimes a woman who spent 40 years regretting one decision can change the future with her very last one. I went to my grandmother's funeral expecting to say goodbye. Instead, I met the love of my life. What would you have done if you discovered a secret branch of your family? Was Grandma right to reveal the truth after all those years? Comment below what you think.